Right, Tom Bragwood and Bruce Harwood, otherwise known as the Lone Gunmen.
Hooray!
Yeah!
Hey, there we go. Hi, everybody. How's it going? Oh, I'll sit in the center. Yes, as the loudmouth of the group. Tom.
Hello.
Hi there. Hi, everybody. Here we are, ConnectiCon.
Yeah!
It's morning. Yeah, you're right.
So I'm going to open up to questions. Again, just state your name, your institution. I know
Fantastic. Right over there.
took care of that.
Joe Cirillo, GameAccess.net. You guys have been in several video games, reprised your roles in several video games for the X-Files, obviously.
The X-Files one where Mulder kicks the shit out of everybody. That one, just repeatedly kicking. Well, that seems cruel.
There are...
Just get a gun, Mulder. Seriously, just shoot the guy. No, I'm going to kick the shit out of you until you're done.
What was it like doing that game after the series and everything? What was it like going back to your roles after that?
Was it after the series we did that
I
game?
cannot actually remember.
I
seem to remember putting lipstick on.
Yes.
Lipstick on,
so
because the animators were too lazy to draw lips, so all they wanted was like a dark lip match. So we all had to wear these dark, and then they were filming it behind the scenes. So there, all of us are like kissing each other and stuff because we all have black lipstick on.
Well, it's nothing like having a cameraman follow you into the bathroom so that you film you putting lipstick on your
Yeah, so Nick Lee, Mitch Coletti, we all put on lipstick and then doing that.
Did you have the beard when you put the lipstick?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
It was weirdly satisfying.
That's a whole nother story for Bruce that you may want to follow up on. But for me, it was, I also, unfortunately, was the guy, you know, in every video game, there's that voiceover that tries to talk you through a really complicated part. So all of my line was, Scully, you have to go left in the thing and open up the fire extinguisher. Behind it, you'll find a panel where you rewire the letter A to the letter C, and then go back 2 miles down the hall for crying out loud. You know what, just kill yourself. The game is over. It's over at this point. So, yeah, that's what that was like. Real fun.
Thank you.
I don't know anybody who's actually played it. I know one person who got to the level where my voice is there. And then there was that earlier version.
Really, really old one that was actually all video and such.
Yes.
We went,
Yeah.
Yes,
and
that, yeah.
we filmed our scenes in a Legion.
Yes.
We filmed our scenes in a Legion, remember that?
That's right.
Yeah, in the basement of the Legion.
And Brendan Visor, who was agent, I can't remember his name, was sort of the lead on that. And then the day we were filming, they killed him off on the show. And they were like, well, that screws our whole game. And they already invested all these DVDs. Hilarious. So if you find a 6 DVD set,
I have it, yeah.
You have
I have it, yeah.
That was the only one I ever actually played.
Is that right? Yeah, I never played any of them. So there you go. Hope that answers all your gaming questions. Yes?
Zach, jmzmpodrash.com.
Like you have, Zach. That's very impressive.
Did you guys ever think when you were doing working on the X-Files that it would become something that would get a spin-off show? Anything like that? Or anything?
Yeah, first audition I planned. That was my whole plan. I was just going to do that and then like...
So you walked in and you just started saying like spin-off, like
Spin-off, yeah, I said, you know...
like something about spin-off.
Look, I know I'm only one day on this X-Files thing on the first season, but I'm telling you, I'm doing this in order to get my own spin-off.
It's going to be huge.
It's going to be huge.
Well, it was already, they were already saying it by the second time we appeared in the second season. They're going, hey, you guys, spin-off.
Yeah, we joked about it a lot. What was funny was we were in LA, when it got announced, we were in LA doing it on the show. We didn't know anything about it.
Right.
There hadn't been any talk, our agents hadn't been called. And Dean phones me up about 7 in the morning and said, you know, you should go down and get the Weekly Variety and have a look at it. It's kind of an interesting article in there.
Yeah.
And, you know, apparently there was a meeting and Vince Gilligan and the guys from Fox announced that they were doing a Gunman pilot. We hadn't heard a thing.
Not a thing.
The night before
They
we
didn't
came
even
in,
phone to check if we were alive.
Yeah, exactly. Like, are we interested in it?
well, we were doing another press junket the night before, and
Yeah.
people were coming up and going, so what would a Lone Gunmen TV series be like, and thrusting microphones in our faces, and we were just like, well, I pictured...
Hilarious. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. And then sure enough...
Oh, I wanted to spin off with Mitch, with Skinner, going to make a private detective. And we would be his assistants, and he'd always be getting really mad at us for doing something wrong.
Damn you buyers! 2 days to retirement! That whole thing? Every episode? I got 2 days to retirement, and this happens.
Would it be like a regular, I think my husband's cheating on me, private detective, or like a UFO private?
Oh, that's a good one.
No, it would be UFO stuff.
With some of my husband's cheating. Yeah, just like you're taking a picture my husband, with an alien. Oh my God. It's weird. I don't want to get away from the aliens, but I can't help it. I keep taking pictures of them. That would be awesome. I think we just pitched another show. Yeah, exactly. Write that down. Yeah, other questions? Right back to
Yeah, Joe.
Joe, right,
yeah.
from gaming, what's
GameAccess.net.
GameAccess.net.
Yes,
People
and-
forget that.
Thank you. It sounds like you guys had a blast on set. What kind of pranks would you guys pull on? Would you pull pranks on set with each other?
We were very professional.
We were. Yeah, there was never a
Came
prank.
in with our lines, hit our marks, and then just left. But no.
That's actually kind of
That's
true.
actually kind of
Yeah, I
true.
know.
Well, the thing is, it was always Friday nights. We were always usually brought in
Last.
Friday night, last scene of the night when the crew
You know,
wanted
3 in the
to go
morning.
home.
Yeah, 3 in the morning.
Everybody, all the crew was asleep.
We'd see the sunrise doing our scenes
Yeah.
and then go home.
They
So
tried
the
to-
last thing they wanted was, hey, let's prank. It's 5 a.m.
There was a lot of like, did he get his lines out? Yeah, okay.
Good, yeah. Was that in English? I didn't listen. Yeah, it was in English. Good. Moving on. Thank you.
There was one night we were out in an area called Labden, which is kind of a flat land.
Uh-huh.
It was the middle of winter. It snowed, but it was really, really cold.
Right.
And there was a scene where we appear in the grass in the distance and come out of a bomb shelter or something.
Yeah, and there's the
And
mist.
we're standing there because they're setting up a big crane, which is about like 300 miles away from it.
Mm-hmm.
And we're standing there, and Bruce is starting to shake. It's so cold.
Yeah, shivering.
And I'm looking up there, and I'm watching everybody, and nothing seems to be happening. And they had given us a radio so we could, you know, talk back.
Hear
and
our-
forth. So I got on the radio. I said, "So, what's going on up there? What's happening?" "Oh, we're just having some soup." Right?
Yeah. And the craft service brought hot soup to the crew,
Not to us.
left us actors freezing out in the field because we were on the fog. So I guess she didn't know we were out there. She thought just the crew was just hanging around, doing nothing on a Friday night. So it's like, here's hot soup. Oh, okay, let's go eat hot soup, everybody. Turned their back to us. We're freezing our ass off.
That
Yeah.
was crazy.
So that kind of thing went on. Is that a prank? Not so much. No, that's more.
They couldn't think enough of us to pull the prank off.
I know, exactly. They forgot to actually include us in any pranks.
Was it different when you guys had your own series?
No, that was our own series.
Oh.
That story is from our own series.
That was
That's how ironic that is statement is. That is our own series.
But we had a lot of, I mean, our own series, we had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Our own series. We had a blast.
Yeah.
And then, you know, the crew had a good time because it was semi-comedy and they really enjoyed it. It was
Yeah.
nice to do something like that, so.
Yeah.
It was a good set to be on. Everybody had a good time.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like to work every day. Best shape I've ever been in doing that. Yeah.
Zach, jmzmpodcast.com. There's talk, they're making a new 6-episode.
Yes.
Are you guys including that or not?
Well, I don't know.
Truthfully, it's like the latest word I got was, you know, you guys might be in. Are you free? Maybe, possibly.
Right. Don't want to make
whispers and winds.
Whispers, exactly.
Whispers in the
exactly.
My guess is, I say this to everybody. My guess is you will know before I do.
Yeah. It's often the case with the writers that they would write a script and it'd be, 15 pages too long. So they would condense that 15 pages into one scene that the gunman would say of how magically we get Mulder from one facility to another with a couple keystrokes. And then they would save 15 pages and make it inside the 43 minutes that they had.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
so I imagine that that's going to happen as they write these 6, as they go, oh my God, it's way too long. Let's get the gunman just to clear up this mess in one quick scene as they say a bunch of crap and then they can, run away from the big explosion.
Well, I'm a little confused about whether we're alive or dead or not.
Oh, come on! Have you not seen
I know, the
IDW's
comic book.
X-Files
Yeah.
comic book season 10?
Yeah, I was gonna ask,
Let's-
did you read the comic?
Yeah, he doesn't read the comic. I was at Comic-Con.
Well, the thing is, like, comics are one thing. Is this canon? Is this
I don't
canon?
know.
It's
They
official.
never- they never stated it.
Go to my website, go to the YouTube channel where I dress Chris Carter at Comic-Con on Diaz. I'm moderating the panel with Jillian and Chris Carter. I say, is this official canon? He says yes.
So we're living under the Arlington
So
Cemetery.
we're living under the Arlington Cemetery somehow, all these years, with a top secret facility under a bunch of dead soldiers.
Better off than we were before.
Better off than we were before somehow, getting ventilation, no explanation how we survived the 16 floors down in the top secret vault with Errol Morris. There's none of that's in the book. And then there was a spin-off from that IDW thing called, I think it was just the Gunman with the...
There's a Star Trek one too, an X-Files.
Yeah, there was an X-Files Star Trek, but ours was Gunman crossover with Ghostbusters.
Oh, wow.
Mutant Ninja Turtles, two others, Ghostbusters, Mutant Ninja Turtles, and
I gotta read this.
yeah, all the time. They emailed me going, I shit you not, this is a crossover with the Gunmen. That was from the editor, I shit you not? That's my subject line? That doesn't seem right. So yeah, so that was pretty funny. So if you read that, you'll see the Gunmen are alive, it's official canon, and they explain nothing of how we survived, but we've been under a cemetery all these years in a top secret.
How do we get exercise down there? No.
Well, I don't know.
I'm overthinking.
I assume it's got a really great high fiber optic line, that's why we were down there. That's an easy way to get.
Yeah, I was gonna say you guys are method actors, right?
Yeah, I gotta be
After
out
this,
there.
you're gonna go back down your hole?
Yes, exactly.
Kung
I took
fu.
a basement suite. Yeah, your question.
We got, this is the last one.
Neil at WILI AM and FM Willimantic, Connecticut.
Hey, right on.
Being that you worked out the X-Files, I was just wondering what all of your personal feelings are about the supernatural X-Files.
Personal feelings? What do you think about the supernatural and the UFOs and the paranormal, Tom?
I sort of believe in the alien thing, but, you know, I don't know.
Very good. There's one non-committal, Bruce.
I'm a total.
That was the most educated answer.
Yeah, right, I don't know. Okay, I don't know.
I call myself a skeptic, which means my attitude is generally, if that's your explanation, it's probably wrong.
Yeah, see?
So
I like your...
I think I wouldn't, if somebody said I saw a UFO, I go, okay, you saw a UFO, but I don't believe it was a spinning with, little green guys with funny eyes and things like that. I don't know what it is, but I don't think that's the explanation.
I also like his explanation on government conspiracies, that is generally not planned.
It's incompetence.
It's just incompetence. It's
Yeah.
somebody covering their ass. Just like, oh, I screwed this up. You say this, you say that, and you say that, and then everybody keeps their jobs.
Burn this stuff.
Burn that stuff, exactly.
I tell people that, I'm like, these guys can't get anything
They can't
done.
get anything
How
done.
Conspiracy.
So how do you have an elaborate plan to do anything that's 25 years in the making?
You
when
fix the roads.
You can't even fix the roads, exactly. I totally think that that's a very, very valid explanation.
JFK was probably one of the guys running after the car and his gun went off.
Oh, that guy did it in the field, the grassy knoll. Two shots were fired. Yeah, one went through my fly. I don't know what the hell happened. So, yeah. I did a documentary called The Truth Is Out There, actually, which you can see online. And in that, because I met personally a lot of the real-life researchers and UFOologists and stuff like that, I sort of go around investigating that. But at the end of that documentary, I was neither no more convinced or not convinced as I was going into it. So
It's really easy to go down the rabbit hole if you start really getting into all these. If you get too far in, you can't get out.
well, yeah, there's a lot of people that have invested their whole lives in researching and or trying to expose some sort of perceived truth or not truth. Neil is one, perhaps? Is that the indication of the shoulder chuck? Like that guy. So, yeah, so it's always fascinating, and I always think, I have an open mind to, as further evidence comes up, because, as I was saying early on, the NSA was listening to us, but until Snowden showed up, I would think conspiracy theorist, and then now it's like, oh yeah, they all been listening to us, actually, so.
But then we talk about, this is about government incompetence. They've got all these records. Who's examining them?
And who does?
There's nobody.
Probably staff cuts prevent that.
Yeah.
Well, exactly, because then I met a guy, he's like an intern at the NSA, he goes, they're so inept, and then all their heads are up their ass, and it's like, well, there you
I
go.
mean, you could probably mess with the system just by sending a bunch of emails that say things like bomb, Obama, kill, kill, kill.
And
they-
that was the name of my rap song, that was.
I would love to hear that.
Yes,
That does sound like a rap
That was
song.
silly on my part. Yeah. So that's it.
Yeah, thanks for coming out.
Yeah,
guys.
See you on the floor, everybody.
Yes!
We got a panel going on in the Dragon Room tonight at 6.